This video and all other videos on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. The content of this video and all other videos on this channel are the opinions of the creator only and do not constitute legal, trading, investment, or financial advice of any kind. Investing carries a high level of risk and the majority of retail clients lose money. Do not invest any capital unless you understand the risks and you are prepared to lose it all. Alright, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and we got some very big news today. So the plan for today is I'm going to quickly touch on 3 or 4 tabs just as a reminder of exactly where we are in the Bitcoin daily cycle, and then I'm going to reveal to you this news, which by now you've probably worked out based on the title and the thumbnail. The first thing I wanted to quickly run through was this, okay? Now, it's by no means a call or a prediction, but in the yellow here, this is the Nasdaq.com bubble blow off top, and below is the Dow Jones, okay? Now, I don't know about you, but especially from about this point when we had the ABCDE, it starts to get eerily similar. So it does make me wonder if out of these cycle lows that we expect this week for both the stock market and for Bitcoin, are we going to get a third and final blow off top angle? Is it going to be way bigger than anyone could have anticipated? And Rickers has said the same but different, right? This thing right here seems to be repeating right here. Looks a lot more realistic than the other one in my humble opinion, but either way, if we can find a cycle low and continue up, then we should have some higher highs in the not too distant future. And the same for Bitcoin, okay? We've been saying the same thing over and over again. Here is the original yellow squiggle. I have not touched it yet. And when we fast forward to today, here we are. Okay, so happy days, looking for a cycle low, looking for a swing. Maybe it forms today, maybe it takes a couple more days until some of the uncertainty has passed, but we're right in that timing window now. We're looking for a bit of confirmation and a push up, and then it should be time to add another position and get ready for price discovery. So again, I've been saying the same thing over and over again. No changes to that. A little bit of patience. No need to FOMO here. There is still a potential of a little bit more downside over the coming couple of days. But as we always do here, we find the cycle lows, we get some positions on, and we capture whatever the cycle will give. So again, make sure you're subscribed if you want to watch me do this in real time. As you can see, okay, couldn't have really done any better in terms of this yellow squiggle. And just as a quick reminder before we get into the meat and potatoes of today, of course it is election week, and on average, we see this kind of performance for Bitcoin 1, 3, and 6 months out. As I was saying yesterday, when we take a look at this, okay, the black is the current cycle. There is plenty of space to run. There is plenty of space for this thing to surprise to the upside. Unfortunately, I think most people are underexposed here. I think they're overexposed meme coins, and they're probably not going to benefit from the way Bitcoin is about to behave. But time will tell, as always. And the final point I think is important to take note of, given that we're in an election week, is in every previous cycle, Bitcoin made a low the week of the US election, which of course would be that cycle low that we're about to find any day now. And then it never, ever revisited that low again. Let that sink in. If there's nothing different about this cycle, if we are going to behave as we have done in the prior few times, then what we should actually expect here is a cycle low to form any day now, a resumption of the bull trend, and then potentially, okay, never trading below this level ever again. And again, when I was saying earlier on, I don't think many people are positioned to benefit from this. I still think there's a lot of people looking for a 40k or a 49k entry. And talk about a Max Payne scenario, okay? Bounce it out of here, boom. Where's my 40k, bro? But for now, though, let's put the focus on finding the cycle low, getting some trades on, and then we'll see, right? We'll see if it plays. But given Bitcoin's historical behavior around elections, I remain positive here. We also had T-Mobile start mining Bitcoin using surplus renewable energy. So that's big. And I think we can have confidence that we know what's coming next, okay? Because gold has already shown us. This is gold at the bottom. You can see top, okay? Identical structure here and here. Then we went sideways in a range here and here. We got the breakout from gold and one of these big channels, breakout from Bitcoin, big channel. And then, of course, we saw a breakout, a retest, resumption for the price of gold, telling us we've already seen breakout, retest, that resumption is probably right around the corner. Wild times to be alive. Again, note how everyone is calling for 40 or 49k. And so the big news of today that I wanted to talk about was pensions. I put this video out over a year ago, and in this video, I was talking about how I didn't really trust pensions. I didn't really think it was reasonable to expect pensions to be paid out after 2030. We were also tracking this in real time, whereby the pension funds in the UK got margin called in the middle of a tightening cycle, which is the kind of things you see in lesser economically developed countries. I also showed that the UK at the time was running a shortfall of around $4 trillion, which was estimated to have grown and ballooned to 33 trillion by 2050. Keep in mind, our GDP at the time was about 2.6 trillion. So in other words, the money's not there. I also showed in this video that essentially it's not the UK that's alone. It's like this all over the world. Everyone is completely messed up because they are over leveraged in all the pensions. They just don't have the money. They've made these promises that they can't carry out. And we were joking, okay, on and off for a long time around the time this video was made, that one possible way to fix this issue would be with Bitcoin. And at the time, it seemed like a bit of a pipe dream. It was like, well, in theory, they could add Bitcoin, okay, have an exposure of a few percent. And then assuming Bitcoin doesn't go to zero and continues to be adopted, assuming fiat debasement, which is mathematically guaranteed, continues to occur, we would expect Bitcoin's price to balloon into the multiple millions a coin. And in theory, you could use this if you were an insolvent pension fund to plug the holes in the pension. And again, at the time, it was kind of like, only in my wildest dreams would we see something like this. But fast forward to today, okay, and the first UK pension fund has officially allocated to Bitcoin. What a wild time to be alive. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. It makes so much sense to me. It makes so much sense to anyone that actually understands Bitcoin. I know there'll be a bunch of people that say things like, well, Bitcoin doesn't have any value, right? Well, yeah, tell that to the pension funds, okay? Because clearly they think it does. But this just makes so much sense to anyone that actually understands Bitcoin. Anyone that's put 100 hours of study into it, this makes so much sense. And the pension fund has currently remained unnamed, but is allocating 3% of its total assets. This is the first of its kind in the UK. The allocation took place on October. After rigorous training and due diligence process, Cartwright stated, without disclosing the name of the pension fund. So they've said they've got a horizon of 10 years and that 3% Bitcoin allocation is appropriate given the asymmetric return profile that Bitcoin possesses enables a small allocation to have a big positive financial impact. And remember, it has to start at 3. They can't come out here and say we're going to 15%, okay? People will be like, what? They've lost their mind. Give me my money. And of course, they haven't got the money. So you can't even withdraw it. But slowly but surely, okay, we will probably see this thing continue. And as more and more of the pension funds start to grab 1, 2, 3%, as it proves itself over a few years, that position can be increased to 5, 10, even higher percent. Keep in mind for gold, okay, there's nothing wrong with having 10 or even 15% at times allocation to gold in a pension fund, particularly during stress conditions. And even in things like permanent portfolios, we see 25% allocation to gold. And remember, there's just not enough Bitcoin to go around. But that is, of course, a feature, not a bug. Like I said, for anyone that actually understands what this stuff is, this makes so much sense. They also went out to say that Bitcoin is a strategic move that not only offers diversification, but also taps into an asset class with a unique asymmetric risk-return profile. And whilst this is the first UK pension fund to allocate to Bitcoin, it's not the first to do it globally. So note the trend here, okay? Gradually, then suddenly. And they've also found a way that combines highly secure custodial solutions with a mechanism to quickly trim profits as they arise, which even opens up the door for a risk-adverse pension scheme and other institutional investors to benefit from Bitcoin's potential growth, whilst managing volatility within a secure strategic framework. And they have also created this as a solution with a low minimum investment threshold, meaning the option is available to pension schemes of all sizes, unlike many historic investment ideas when they first become available that require a large net worth. And as if that's not enough, there's a second UK pension fund which is larger than this current one, which is also working with Cartwright for a Bitcoin allocation, which will no doubt show up at higher prices. So far, so good, right? Baby steps, one day at a time as always, hunting that cycle low. But what a wild time to be alive. How can they possibly plug these holes? Well, they would need a stack of, let's say, a few 100,000 Bitcoin. And then they just need to sit there and hold it until it goes to the multiple millions per coin. And then we start to get very, very close to being able to at least plug some of those holes. So I hope you found that as interesting as I did. I hope you understand the implications fully. Other than that, okay, no real changes to the plan. If you're a level 3 member, look out as we're going to continue to hunt these cycle lows. Of course, you already know the deal, and I will notify you of the exact levels when I pull the trigger. For everyone else, have a good week. Until next time, cheers, bye.
Camel Finance, he's the man to see. Rocking the markets with his contrarian spree. Trades like a pro, no fear, no shame. Sticking to his guns in his money game. He's a badass, oh yes indeed. Camel Finance got the markets key. Taking us normies on a bump.